Is November writing dead? Well, we're going to talk about that today, so stay tuned.
Hi, and welcome to the Christian Indie Writers Podcast, where we inform, encourage, and support Christian indie writers on their journey to publication. I'm Jamie Hirschberger. I write short fiction under the pen name J.R. Nichols.
And I'm Jennifer Carl Tong, and it's 10 o'clock in the morning. It's October 24th, if you want to know. That's for my Lord of the Ring fans. If you know, you know.
Morning, all right. Good morning, Jen, and good morning to everybody listening live and listening on whatever platform that you catch your favorite podcast. We hope we are one of them. Right now we have Piper. Good morning to you. And if you're ever able to catch us at 10 a.m. Eastern, please do come on over and join our chat. We do appreciate you. And if you're not a YouTube person, if you wouldn't mind just coming over to subscribe, we'd like to try to get 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, because we have some big goals for the podcast, including reaching some people who don't know about us. And the first step to that is gaining bigger YouTube subscription numbers. So if you could help us out with that, we'd really appreciate if you come throw us a subscribe. Right, Jen?
That is correct. That's real. But we're actually getting some subscribers. I wonder if some of them might be bots, which is like pretty disappointing. But yeah, I guess we'll take it at this point.
I mean, I guess does YouTube require that it be 1,000 real people subscribers or not? Do we know?
I'm just more worried. Maybe I shouldn't say bots. I'm more worried about trolls. I was thinking about that this morning. Is that we've been small enough that we've stayed under like the radar of trolls, and like I don't know how I will handle that. Like if we end up getting trolls. So, but hopefully some of our people that love us will be able to like come at them.
I almost feel like when you have a hater, that means you're finally important enough. I know it's, I have a story I'd like to tell you offline, Jen, but I feel like surprised at how much lately finding out that I'm on someone's not so favorite persons list almost just makes me feel like I'm popular. Like I'm picking up real estate in your head. I cannot believe that I am so consequential that you would like troll me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway.
So.
Yeah.
And I'm not a people pleaser, so I'm sure I'll be fine with it. So.
All right. So let's get into our topic of the day. November is almost upon us, and NaNoWriMo is no more. And if, like me, you are used to the challenge of writing a novel in 30 days, making you a little bit more prolific, you probably are mourning the demise of NaNoWriMo. And, let's put aside the reasons, because we could really talk a lot. We're going to probably get into a little bit of that. But just, it's an absence, right? You're going to feel it, right, Jen?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's how we even met in the first place, was we would not even.
True.
Yes. If it wasn't for NaNoWriMo, the ladies and I would never have met. It was so back in the day, I was writing my first book, and on October, I want to say it was like October 28th. It was October 20 something. I discovered Nano, and I read all the, you have to start a new book, all these things. And so that's literally how we ended up with book 2 of my series. I'm like, well, I kind of want to write about the sister, so I'll start it. And I went through the whole process of the Nano website, and they hooked you up with like a local meetup, and I went to the local meetup, and that's really how I guess, so I didn't meet the ladies. They were already there together. Somehow they all were kind of had known each other somehow. But because there was a lot of people. Our local Nano was pretty prolific compared to others.
There was a lot of people. The whole space was filled.
Yeah, we took up like half of a Panera Bread, easy. Mm-hmm. I mean, meaning like not just one person at a table. I mean, like the tables were jam packed. And I guess Rhonda had overheard me talking to somebody else about my faith. Because there were a lot of people that were not people of faith. And there were a lot of people that were like atheists. And like, there was a lot of like in our group that was, it was a mission field for sure. Well, so she reached out to me. It must have been through the NaNo website. What's the matter?
Just you're saying, like, listen, I only knew Tina. I knew Tina
Right.
HG, and I brought her to the NaNoWriMo meetup because she only had the prologue of her book. And I was like, you have to write this book, so why not write it during Nano? So we got there, and I think she knew Vicky.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Vicky connected us
to Rhonda. And then was there anyone else in the group before then? I want to say Barb, which is Rhonda's mom. Yeah. Well, then also during that very first Nano, I had to go in for like, a quick little in and out surgery for my thyroid that turned into a nightmare. They discovered cancer, and Rhonda had reached out to me, and I told her what was going on because she just was like, hey, I hope I heard you talking. I want, there's a group of Christians there. And I was all excited. And then she reached out to me again. And I'm like, I just got out of the hospital. This is what's going on. And she just became like instant friend, like just was someone I just needed right then. And then then in December, I think is when we had our very first writing group. Nano was finished. I did not win Nano that year because for obvious reasons, I was in the hospital a lot. And but I remember going, and I was so nervous for our first writing group. Here I am like bandaged up kind of. So I was wearing a scarf so you couldn't see. I was like trying to like hide it. And even though you guys all knew what had happened, and it was just nerve-wracking, whatever. But it all came from this whole idea of, let's everyone write in November and do 50,000 words, and let's get together at times like once a week and do it. And it all started from that. And so here we are. How long have I been cancer free? For 9 years. Gosh, 9 years.
No way.
Yes. So, I shouldn't say cancer free for 9 years, but it's been 9 years this November. That is when they discovered the cancer. So, it's just crazy that that's where it came from. So I feel like NaNoWriMo wasn't just about writing. It was about relationships too. So like the death of it, which I think we should hit on the death a little bit, like what happened.
Yeah.
We don't need to like tell you all of it because Google exists. Right. So we don't need to regurgitate Google, but if you just Google it, you will find, and I could put some links in the show notes, which I have not done yet, but honestly, there was mismanagement at Nano, and there was some predatory happenings in the teen and children's sections of Nano, and the organization of Nano did not manage it, did not handle it. And that's what ultimately brought them down. People, when it was brought to light, people like revolted. And honestly, I think that they were too busy trying to protect the person there was a person that had a predatory site outside of Nano, and then they were put in charge of like the kids like chat groups and stuff. Like there was a lot. It was ugly. It's ugly. So you can go and you can look that all up yourself. And so we knew it was like kind of like we haven't touched Nano for a year or two, just because like it was kind of like sketchy. But then this spring, all of a sudden it shut down. Like the whole website
completely gone. Everything's gone
with no warning. So all of your like data, there was no way to go in even and go back in and handwrite out like how many words you wrote each year and what book it was each year, which was like the kind of the part of I thought of Nano that was really cool was there was always this like a
tracker. It was like a tracker, right?
Tracker. Yes. Gone. Poof. Completely gone. And so I think that was that's why we said RIP, rest in peace, Nano, because it's been a mourning process, right? Us losing this. Yeah.
I know. It's like there's a couple of things in my life that you just kind of assume are never going to change in some kind of like naive way. One was coming home and someone telling me that Michael Jackson had died. Yeah. And I was like, what? Like that had kind of this moment of like, what are you talking about? The second was the childhood mall that I used to cruise being torn down, Lakeside Mall, Jen, in Sterling Heights.
Oh, I used to cruise it too.
That gave me like a certain kind of a feeling. And NaNoWriMo literally evaporated. Like, I mean, the idea that it kind of was over there, but that it wasn't like my domain anymore, that I hadn't been felt one way, but for it to be just totally gone is sort of like my writing mall going away, or my writing Michael Jackson dying. Like, what are you talking about? Because it's just always kind of been there. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, and there was, when it was still kind of there was always this hope that someone was going to step in and save the day, right? There was always this hope that it was going to be resurrected, for lack of a better word. And now that hope is like completely gone, because even if somebody tried to, all of the rest of that is just lost, right? So
well, why is that, Jen? What was its original purpose? What did it offer that was so appealing and made it such a institution in the indie world? What was it about it?
So like the original story was, there was just, I think, a dude who was like challenged his friends, because they all kind of sat around talking about like, oh, someday I'm going to write the great American novel. Someday. And it was the conquering that someday, right? All right. In November, we're going to write 50,000 words, and we're going to do 1,667 words every single day to reach that goal. And it was like, it's a month where there's 30 days, not 31, not 28, you know, so it was a 30-day month. And that was just his idea with his friends, and it just grew from there. Again, it started with friends, right? And Piper said, praise God that the first year's meeting and relationships, because they brought you to us. I mean, I agree. And brought you guys to us as well.
Brought you guys to us. My life is so much richer from this community. Jen, why 50,000 words?
Because 50,000 words technically is considered a novel. So every genre has their own word count, kind of. Like for me, it's around 70 to 90,000 words is what you would expect in a Christian romance novel. And fantasy, way bigger than that. But if you write 50,000 words, it can be considered a complete novel. Now, if you want to traditionally publish and put it on a bookshelf at a bookstore, 50,000 words is probably going to be a little bit less.
It's pretty skinny, right? 50,000 is a pretty skinny book. Yeah.
But it's doable. Number one. Number two, it can be a complete work. So you can like pat yourself on the back and say, I wrote the novel. Right. And also it's a starting point. Like when you write 50,000 words, you're not done. I mean, we've talked about the editing process at length, and probably we'll talk about it some more. So that it just kind of was like a sweet spot for people. So
I agree. And it really was a doable challenge, and it offered just enough of a stress because, you know, Thanksgiving was in there, and you always had to be like, how are we going to handle that? You know,
and 1,667 words pushes you, but it's not terrible. And you can do, anyone, even starting writers can do that.
Yeah. And then after a while, you find out that you can write 500 words in 30 minutes, and you're like, why am I not doing this? Right.
Right.
So, I mean, 15 minutes, not 30 minutes anyway. Okay.
We joke about RIP, you know, but we've talked about this, you and I, like, is it actually that we're witnessing the death of Nano, or is this just an evolution of something different and something new? So that's why we wanted to come on here and discuss this with all of you, because here comes Nano, here comes November, and it almost feels like empty because we're not planning for something. So what does that mean for us as writers nowadays? Right?
This is true. And also people who are coming up aren't going to know anything about NaNoWriMo, right? And so it's possible that just that model is a little bit outdated. Will younger generations respond to something like that even with shorter attention spans? Does anybody even care about writing a novel anymore? These are things that we were kind of questioning.
Right.
So what do we do now that there is no NaNoWriMo? Do we try to replace it, Jen? Do we try to challenge ourselves in a different way? What's next for us about that?
So that's a question that we have asked ourselves. Like, do we, like, because we even talked about, like, should we try a challenge? Like, and we don't have the manpower, like, because the expectations, because Nano had turned into this, like, more than just a challenge. The website was just like, it was all encompassing, and it connected you with people. It had like chat rooms, and it was like crazy the amount of stuff that it had. But so then we talked about that. Like maybe it is just done. Maybe like people will do other things. And like you said, like Jamie pointed out, like maybe people only want to do short works, or they don't want to write 50,000 words in 1 month. But here's what we found as we've been watching this and getting closer to November. People still want it, I think, because, and here's how you know, is because if just do a quick Google of NaNoWriMo alternatives. Because this is what we did on Tuesday. We're like, well, let's just see what, like, we had a couple of ideas what's out there, and we Googled it. And we were like, whoa, like,
yeah,
there is a want for it, because if there wasn't a want for it, there wouldn't be so many people trying to fill that want, right? And so we thought, you know what? We are interested in seeing what's out there. Let's talk about this with our listeners, especially if you're new to writing, because I feel like we are, because we're not experts at anything, and we say this all the time. I feel like that we are kind of a place for new writers to come and to learn from some people that have kind of walked these steps, a little bit more. So,
agree. Yeah.
Okay.
So we've got a couple of alternatives that we plucked from that list as ones that really provoked our curiosity to investigate a little more, ones that we thought more aligned with the quest of the Christian Indie Writers podcast and sort of what our particular audience might be looking for. And there were 3, and we're going to talk about those one at a time. Do we want to talk about them maybe from fewest bullet points to greatest?
We can do that.
Kind of, yeah. Okay. What do you think, Jen? What's our first one?
So what we looked at too was like what the most organized, had the most features, and just seemed the most sustainable, and what people, could get resources from. So
yeah,
the first one that emerged last year that I noticed was AutoCrit Novel 90. Now, this is not a 30-day thing. So if the 30 days felt too much pressure to you, you want to go over to AutoCrit and take a look at that. It started October 1st, so you're a little behind, but if you already have things outlined and ready to rock and roll for November, then this could be the challenge for you. It goes all the way to December 31st, but the way that it works is the novel 90 starts with outlining, then you do the writing, and it even goes through in December, and it goes through editing with you. So
that's very thorough. That's great.
It's a very the website has lots of options. It does have a paid option. This is why now Tina did pay the all-time. If you want to do it, it's not super obvious on their website, but Google search looking for their one-time pay. They have a one-time pay, and you have like access to it forever. It is a good deal. It is a good deal if you think you're going to use all the things. There's so much on their website. And I did try Novel 90 last year, but for me, it's stretched too long. Like I don't have the ability to like really commit to 90 days of focused on this one. Like I have a lot of things going on. I have kids still at home, and I homeschool them. And so it was too much for me time-wise. Now I can take 30 days and say to my family, okay, everyone else got to step up. Like dishes, dinner, laundry, like everyone else needs to step up because mom is going to be focused on this. I can do that for 30 days. 90 days was too much for me. But AutoCrit, no space, AUTOCRIT. Take a look over at them. So that's the Novel 90 challenge.
Okay, and I do like that it gives you the opportunity to outline and revise with help, because that's different than just writing and then being on your own for the other 2 phases. So that's a feature that stands out to me.
Agreed.
Okay, so go ahead.
I was going to say, the next one we wanted to talk about comes from Readsy. Now, if you've never heard from Readsy and you are an indie author, you need to go check them out. They have a lot of free resources before they ever started what they're calling Novel Sprint. They have, they can hook you up with editors, and they have you can go on there and you can format an ebook. There's lots of free things that they offer there. The interesting thing about their challenge, Novel Sprint, is that you can win money. So this is what got my attention. It's an annual challenge. It's going to happen every November, just like NaNoWriMo did. And you are, the goal is to write 50,000 words, but those 50,000 words have to be written in their free writing app. Now it's free, their writing app, but they're trying to promote this new app that is supposed to be, I think, similar to Scrivener, but it's online. It's through them. It's free. I don't know if you can write somewhere else and copy and paste. That's what I used to
Mm,
do for
mm,
NaNoWriMo. I just copied my doc and I pasted it into NaNoWriMo for the win. I didn't write
mm.
within the website. But I don't know if that will work or not. So I can't really speak to that. But they, again, because Readsy is a big website, it's a well-established organization that has always, I mean, since before I started writing, has been there for indie writers. They have events and resources. They have, like, just like Nano did, an in-app tracking for your goals. And it's, the whole point is to get that first draft finished. That's what, just like what Nano was. But the thing that's different about them is that at the end of the month, if you write the 50,000 words in their app, you can submit your first chapters and then possibly win prizes, like up to $5,000. We're not talking like $50 and $20. Like $5,000 is like, that's good money. I mean, so I'm seriously considering, if I can copy and paste into it, I will 100% do it. If I have to write in there, I'm still considering it because, I mean, money. And it's
What
Reezy.
you don't have an entry fee, but to be eligible, you have to be like a premium person or something, which you get like other content, you get other tools. But what was the price of it? What did you say it was?
No, it's free.
No, it's free.
It's
so
free.
Even entering to win the money is free.
Now, I will have to go back and check because I'm the one that put the notes in for this part of our outline. But I did the research, and everything here says here. All right, I'm at their website right now.
Okay.
It wants you to join the challenge. It says, number 1, start writing. Write 50,000 words in 30 days in Readsy Studio. That's the name of their app that they are promoting right now. When you do that, when you hit your target, you unlock 3 months of Readsy Studio Premium add-ons.
Okay.
Readsy Studio is free. Of course, they want you to add on, like, go with premium, but they're introducing it to you for free. And then you can submit your excerpt. There's nothing on here about it costing money. So why would you not try?
Right, because it's free for 30 days. So obviously, if you don't cancel, probably there would be a cost, but it sounds like it's free to enter based on you would have, a free trial period.
The Readsy Studio is always free. The Readsy Studio Premium, if you unlock it, you can get 3 months for free. But I think you can get premium for free for 30 days, like what you're saying. So
perfect.
Which is great, because I don't want to, like, go in there and write a novel and then have to pay to get my novel off of there.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the 30 days is up. So
Right.
So
Okay.
that is that's Readsy. And then the one that I am the most considering is the Pro Writing Aid Novel November, because it's Pro Writing Aid. They've also done a lot of advertising for this. Pro Writing Aid is a app that you can use for free, but again, there's a premium version of Pro Writing Aid, and it's been around for a while, so they're kind of more established. And it feels to me, as I'm reading their stuff, that it's the closest to NaNoWriMo in the essence of what NaNoWriMo was meant to be. It's a free 30-day writing challenge like the rest of them, and it's to help you write your first draft like the rest of them are. They're including free expert workshops similar to what Readsy is, daily writing sprints, which, we're fans of that. You can track your progress. But this is the first one that I saw that said that they have a supportive global community, which is the thing that brought us together about Nano, was that there was community chat rooms, there were local meetups. So I don't know exactly how they're running it. And of course, this is their very first year doing it. So it could be something that develops into something more. But that's what had my interest, was the global community. So
yeah, and they're calling it Novel November, and then they're abbreviating it NavNov or NavNav, I don't know, NOV.
Yeah.
So it's like you can tell that they really are trying to literally fill the gap there that NaNoWriMo has left. It does sound very much the closest to the sort of traditional NaNoWriMo experience, if that's what you're going for.
Yeah.
So, of the 3, I think this, like you say, is closest, but I do really find the other 2 options kind of intriguing. I love the ideal of being awarded for coming up with something great in Readsy. And I do like the extra support that AutoCrit gives you. If you wanted to bookmark that one for next year, October 1st, set an alarm that you want to try to do the whole thing next year. I think these 3 options are great for listeners looking for something else.
And we'd love to know what you're thinking about, because you might have found something or tried it last year even that we haven't heard about. So please, in the comments, please let us know what you're going to be doing this November. Like I said, I am probably going to do, I think I'm going to try to do both the Pro Writing Aid novel November, the Nov, and the Readsy novel sprint. Mostly, I mean, the money is kind of like interesting, though. I mean, it is just, it's almost like a drawing. So whatevs. But I want to see how they work. That for me, it's more about, okay, I want to check these out. I can do them at the same time, and then I can compare. And then in the future, I can decide which one I want to move forward with. So,
well, and I think that you're exactly what they want. They want people on their platform to try it out and provide feedback. Yeah. So you're really helping them to improve. And that's precisely what they're looking for. I think it's funny. Piper is talking about who created NaNoWriMo. And she's like, I always thought, of course it was a guy who came up with spending so much time writing during the month of November. Nothing else going on.
Right. I know. I know. And I always told myself I'm going to get ahead so that when Thanksgiving comes, that I'm not stressed out about it. Did I ever do that? No. Was I the week after Thanksgiving writing like a maniac so that I could win Nano? Yes. Because I there's no way I can get the words in on Thanksgiving week. I'm like, oh my gosh, baking and cooking. I do it all for the whole family. So it's like, of course it was a guy. That's true. And he was young and he was single. These are a bunch of single people that started it. And so.
And can you imagine he goes home for Thanksgiving and locks himself like in his childhood bedroom and won't come out to talk to his family who's been like hoping to see him, and you know what I mean?
Is dinner ready yet? Okay.
I'll take my plate to my bedroom.
Yeah, that's gonna say eats dinner and then grabs his pie, pumpkin pie, whipped cream, and goes back to the room. Yeah.
Jen, do you mind if I ask, are you secretly hoping that your NaNo Curse will come to an end now that NaNoWriMo has come to an end? Sorry, we didn't talking about this.
No, that's okay. I mean, I don't care. So if you followed us for even a hot minute, you know that like we joke about, but it's kind of a thing. Like, I don't believe in curses, but every year we could I could list it out. Cancer was the first year. I mean,
Cancer was the first year. Yeah.
And then my dear uncle, who I live in the house. They left me his house when my aunt died. They left me the house. He passed away, literally in November. And that was that was rough because I needed to be there for my aunt, and then
you had just told me about him, and I had christened him Uncle Claus because of all the presents he used to bestow upon you. Remember?
Yeah, I remember.
And then you were like,
we were in writing group once, and he called, and I'm like, I'm sorry, guys, I don't answer, but I answer for him because he's 80 some years old, and I never know when it would be the last phone call. And I'm so glad that was always my attitude, because that was one of my last phone calls with him.
I was like, no, not Uncle Claus. It was like terrible.
And then and my aunt, his wife, died the next fall, and then it's just been one thing. My brother died
your brother
2 years ago in end of October. I was just like, there's always something that derails my writing. So I don't believe in curses, even though we joke and call it NaNo Curse, but there always does seem to be something. And psychologically, through therapy, we talked about that, my body starts to expect it. Like when it comes to time of year, there's something inside me that starts to clench up, waiting for the shoe to fall. But if you guys remember, several weeks ago, I shared that in my private time with the Lord, that I had made a list of things that I wanted to be true in my life, with my health, with my spiritual life, with lots of other things. And I feel like I'm trying to focus on that and the things that I'm doing, with God, if that makes sense. And so I don't know. I'm hoping that I don't have any major. I feel like I've already had some major things this year, but we'll see. But I mean, I'm still going to call it the NaNo Curse. If something happens, Like, it's still the NaNo Curse, even though we don't call it, we don't have NaNoWriMo anymore. But
right. Okay. Well, thanks for being vulnerable about that. And I guess that we're going to kind of wrap up the actual meat of the podcast, unless we have something else to talk about regarding the death of NaNoWriMo. How do you feel, Jen? You feel like we've covered
I'm ready
it?
I'm ready to read my sprint, and I'm ready to hear
All
your sprint.
right. Yeah. Well, why don't you read your sprint? So let's introduce it first. We're going to read for you the response that we each independently had to our creative writing prompt, which this week we decided would be The Substitute, because we're talking about substitutions for National Novel Writing Month. So if you want to take a crack at writing your own sprint to The Substitute, we'd love to read it. Drop it in our Facebook group, listeners of the Christian Indie Writers Podcast. And we only give positive and encouraging feedback to these because we write them in 15 minutes before the show, and then we don't revisit them to edit before we share with you all. So Jen, hit us with your sprint.
Okay. So I've been watching a lot of Hallmark movies, or other like versions of them, Christmas movies. So I know it's not even Halloween yet, but they're on TV, and there's, yeah. Okay. The Substitution. I did not get where I wanted to get, by the way.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
So let me get this straight. You were supposed to get married this evening. Correct. But your fiancé flew to Europe instead? Also correct. Joelle looked at the blue-eyed stranger. I'm really sorry. For what? He asked. She felt herself blink several times. She hated when she did that. Mark always called it her tell, for that she was flustered. She forced her lashes into submission and swallowed. For your fiancé calling off the wedding, that must have really hurt. The wedding isn't called off. Oh, I'm sorry. I just assumed since she left the country, that meant... He shrugged one shoulder. The wedding is still happening. It will just have to be with some other woman. Back to fluttering eyelashes. Was this guy some sort of groomzilla that was more concerned with the wedding than with the marriage? He didn't seem crazy, but didn't every neighbor of every serial killer think they were just so normal? Joelle started to stand. Well, good luck with that. Where are you going? He said, standing with her. Yeah, she thought. This is where the crazy comes out. I'm meeting some friends, she lied. No, you aren't. Excuse me? I know you aren't meeting anyone. Her palms began to sweat. Are you some sort of secret stalker? But even as she said it, she laughed. What's so funny? It's just that if I did have a stalker, I guarantee he wouldn't look like you, she said, gesturing to the man's expensive suit. He smiled. It's Christmas Eve. You are in this little coffee shop, which I can only assume was chosen for its location, not its quality of brew. He had her there. You're wearing sweatpants and have a bag full of junk food from the convenience store next door, which I can only assume means you plan to hunker down in your apartment, likely within 1 block of where we stand now, for the holiday, alone. Joelle would have run out of the coffee shop had the accuracy of his statement not frozen her in her spot. He nodded, as if reading her mind. Well, since we both know that you do not have any plans, please sit down so we can finish our conversation. 3, 2, 1.
Yay! I liked it because it was, the contrived bits in air quotes, but it did not read as contrived. It's your talent as a writer, I think, that helped with that. But she seemed real, and the scenario seemed, as real as possible. But where is this going? Like, I love this because it really, I want you to continue it. And that's always a sign of a win. So thanks. I really enjoyed it. What is Joelle going to think of it?
I don't know. I've been saying that I was going to write because Phoebe, my daughter Phoebe, I have a book named Phoebe, but that was only because as I was researching her name, the idea of the book came from that. And I've been telling them that I was going to write books for them, and I just don't know. I don't know. Maybe this will be the book for her. I don't know. I've always felt like Joelle's was going to be contemporary, not historical, but we'll see.
If it is a Christmas one, you could title it Joelle's Noel.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
I already have a Christmas marriage at convenience in the works. And so I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be anything, or if this might get incorporated, or if it's just going to go on the shelf for a little while. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I do like it. I do like it. Really Nice, very nice. Thanks for sharing also.
Thanks. All right, let's hear what you wrote.
As soon as I find it, where are you? Okay. The substitution. Okay, here are those waters. Were you ready to order? I need lemon. Oh, you'd like some lemon for your water. Sarah glanced at her other two tables. Mr. Reuben's sandwich was popping his last crusty bite into his mouth. His wife was wiping her hands on a wet nap, signifying she'd want a to-go box for the remainder of her Cobb salad. Sourpuss and friend didn't answer, but kept their gazes locked on menus. I'll be right back with those lemons, Sarah chirped, swinging by to scoop up Mr. Reuben's sandwich's plate and assure his wife she'd get a box. I'll take the check as well, Mr. Reuben said. Of course, Sarah replied, already looking over at her other table, a family of three still waiting for their order. She dumped the dishes and washed her hands. As she was collecting the lemons and to-go box, she heard the expo call her name. Hot food! She decided to pretend she hadn't heard. She printed her check and skedaddled back to the dining room. She set the lemons down, cashed out Mr. and Mrs. Reuben, and decided to take a chance that she could get Sourpuss's order before running the food to her happy family. Okay, friends, what can I bring for you? More lemons. More lemons? Yeah. The word was said as if Sarah was an idiot for not having brought more lemons in the first place. Yeah, we want like a bowl of lemons. OMG, thought Sarah. But she said, I'll be right back with those. As she turned toward the kitchen, she almost collided with the hostess, leading what appeared to be an army of people down the aisle. This is you, Sarah. It's an 8-top. Oh, terrific, Sarah said as unironically as she could, then waited impatiently for the gang of customers to pass before darting to the kitchen. Sarah, hot food! Coming! Sarah scrambled to throw lemons into a styrofoam bowl, then plopped them on a tray along with her party of three's food and headed out again. Hot food safely delivered, she dropped the bowl of lemons onto Sourpuss's table. Okay, friends, are we ready to order? While squeezing a lemon into her water, Sourpuss's sidekick said, We need sugar. Sweet and low, corrected Sourpuss. You have got to be kidding me, Sarah thought, throwing a glance over at her party of 8. Thankfully, they seemed absorbed in their menus. I'll be right back with that. Is there anything else you need from the kitchen while I'm back there? This question was met with silent shaking of heads. Sarah swung past her 8-top and chirped, I'll be right with you, folks, before sailing into the kitchen. Dolly, the dining room manager, had just arrived and was making a cup of coffee, having apparently noticed Sarah's exasperated expression as she plopped a sugar caddy onto her tray. She asked, You okay, Sarah? And then the timer went off.
Oh, gosh. I love this character. I've said this before. You write so well restaurant scenes because you have like a large portion of your life worked in restaurants, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you just capture it so well. Like, I feel bad for Sarah, and I feel bad if I was ever the sourpuss. Like, I'm one of those people that I stress when my kids can't make up their mind in the drive-thru. It's like, we've been here 30 times. Can you just order something? Or when go to a restaurant and like, because I know that I've never worked in a restaurant. I could never have handled it. Never. First of all, I'm too klutzy. I would have dropped everything. But yeah, so this is so real to me. Like, I feel bad for her, and it makes me want to like give her a big tip. She's not.
Yes. So did you get that the reason it's the substitute is because these ladies were obviously making their own lemonade?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Isn't that funny? Because like I'm like so many ideas of what I was going to write about kind of went in and out of my head, but I was bummed because I never was able to say, like, my next sentence would have been like, I just got people making their own lemonade at the table.
That's awesome.
You know, yeah. Which like, I really do not care for the most part, except for when it's kind of like this and the request is piecemeal to where I have to make 3 trips to the kitchen. Like,
yeah.
Ask for extra lemons and sugar, like, out the gate. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And if you forget, at least be nice. If you could just be nice when you, whatever. So obviously it was therapeutic to write about that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, so thanks for sharing that. And we'd love to hear everybody else's rendition of the substitute. Please plop it into our Facebook group, Listeners of the Christian Indie Writers Podcast. What's going on with you, Jen? What's up? What's next? What's it all about, Elfie?
Well, I just gotta tell you that I think my day was not starting out great to begin with because
Mm.
I bought some new collagen peptide to put in my coffee. I was at
Oh.
I think it was the Sam's Club I found it. I have both Costco and Sam's Club. I'm that person. And they had a salted caramel. And I'm like, one of my
Ooh.
favorite drinks that's not healthy is to get like a caramel pumpkin latte. So good. Well, I have the pumpkin protein shakes that I've been putting in my coffee. And I'm like, add this. It's gonna be so good. Oh, so yummy. So I
Mm.
did that, but my other brand of collagen peptide just kind of melts in my coffee, right? This did,
Okay.
my iced coffee. This did not. And it was like these clumps of gross. So I had to put it into my blender because I'm like, okay, it's all clumpy, which turned it into this giant shake. Like, I don't know why, but it came off foamy. It filled the entire blender. I had
Sorry.
to, no, that's what I'm saying. Like this, you're probably like, why is she sharing this? I had to bring the blender down here. Look how big this thing is. It filled it up, and it was all foam. And like,
Yeah,
I
whipped a
have
bunch of air into it, right?
yeah, and like I love my morning coffee, and it felt like I was drinking like air. And so anyway, it's
Mm.
finally settled down, and now it tastes like coffee again. So I guess things are gonna be fine. But like it was one of those mornings, so I was just like running around, and like I got up, I had plenty of time, like everything was going fine until the coffee incident, and then it went like haywire, and I'm like, maybe this is NaNo, maybe it's a NaNo curse starting already. Why is everything
Yes,
falling apart?
hopefully. Right. Hopefully you'll get away with it just being a million minor inconveniences. That would be
Yes.
just tremendous. I don't have much going on in the future, but I do want to share. Hopefully you can see this. Look at him. I got him for
So
$4.
cute.
I know. And I don't know. Did you see Clash of the Titans when you were a kid? It was made in like
No.
1970, and then they played it on TV a lot. Well, in Clash of the Titans, Perseus is gifted an owl from Athena. Zeus wanted Athena to give him her actual owl companion, but she was like, no way. So she sent him this clockwork owl. His name is Bubo. And ever since I saw that little clockwork owl as a kid, I've wanted one. So when I see owls that remind me of Bubo, not every owl, I don't collect all owls, but
Don't
little
start
Bubos.
sending owls to Jamie. That's not
No,
what
please
she's
not.
saying.
But this guy reminded me of Bubo, so I was happy to pick him up, and that's what's going on with me. So
Writerly wise, I have been playing hooky because I've been busy doing stuff for the podcast. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but we've had more
you've done
shorts
great.
out. I
Yeah.
I did my first 10-minute video. Did you notice, Jamie? I know you've been
No,
busy.
I didn't see it. Mm-mm.
But I will say our views on our YouTube is way up. I don't know
Great.
if it's not really converting into, I don't know. I don't love the 10-minute video, but I'm giving myself grace because it's the first one. And it was weird because like doing live is way different than doing a
Mm.
recorded thing. Like I feel like I'm more myself. I felt like I'm so not myself in this video. Like that's how I feel. Right. So it'll get better. So stick with me, people. Like I've got some fun ideas. I got some ideas to do with you and Tina together with us.
Nice.
So
Okay.
but we gotta talk about that later. But that's it. That's all I got going on. So
All
but
right. Well, in that case, this concludes this episode of the Christian Indie Writers Podcast. Until next time, may your pen be prolific, may your deadlines be met, and may all of your words honor Christ. Bye now.